I know we're not even halfway through this year, but I can't help looking ahead to what might be one of the biggest years in cinema history, 2026. The lineup is stacked, legendary auteurs are returning to the spotlight, the MCU faces its make or break moment, one of the greatest trilogies of the modern era is reaching its epic conclusion, and there's so much more. With the way things are shaping up, 2026 isn't just another year. It could be the year that actually defines the decade. Let's kick things off with what's easily my most anticipated film of 2026, The Odyssey. Directed by the greatest filmmaker of all time, Christopher Nolan. This is Nolan's take on one of the most iconic stories first told by Homer, which is a tale of redemption, fatherhood, war, and moral conflict. All the themes that perfectly aligned with Nolan's strengths as a storyteller. And this time, he's not holding back. The scale is enormous, and so is the cast. We got Matt Damon as Odysseus, we even have Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Anne Hathaway. This is set for a summer 26 release and is currently being filmed across multiple international hubs, which is shaping up to be a massive, grand scale period epic, the kind we rarely see anymore. Filming is reportedly close to wrapping, so we should expect a teaser trailer coming anytime now. But mark my words, like every new Nolan project, the next one could be a cinematic milestone, maybe even his magnum opus. Now shifting to the end of the year with what is universally and the undisputed most anticipated film of 2026, Avengers Doomsday. Quite possibly the MCU's last shot at redemption. Let's be honest here, after Endgame, the franchise has lost its footing. A few solid projects here and there, sure, but nothing has compared to the magic of those first three phases. That said, credit where it's due, Marvel still knows how to build up hype like no one else. Yeah, that RDJ announcement broke the internet. What has me absolutely locked in is the burning question. How does Robert Downey Jr., the face of Iron Man, re-emerge in the universe as Dr. Doom? That twist alone has me seated come December. If Avengers Doomsday delivers with high stakes, a killer story, and actual weight behind the spectacle, it could mark the return of Marvel to its former glory. So another major release in December is Dune Messiah, Denis Villeneuve's final chapter in what's shaping up to be one of the greatest sci-fi trilogies ever made. And honestly, I still think modern audiences don't fully appreciate what Villeneuve has done with these films. The first two entries weren't just movies, they were cinematic spectacles. Every frame feels intentional, crafted by some of the best artists, designers, and performers in the business. Visually, Dune carries this regal, ancient weight while still feeling futuristic and visionary. That aesthetic, that tone, all of it flows from Villeneuve's masterful direction. Now, I haven't read Frank Herbert's books, but I know Messiah is set 12 years after Part 2, with Paul Atreides as Emperor, with the book exploring the cost of empire, prophecy, and betrayal. I've heard from readers that there are unexpected turns and questionable choices, but honestly, I trust Denis. If anyone can translate its complexity into something cinematic and emotionally grounded, it's this Canadian kid. Now, the last blockbuster I'll shout out here is something I wasn't familiar with until there was huge buzz surrounding its showcase in this year's CinemaCon. And I'm talking about Project Hail Mary, the film adaptation based on the best-selling novel and one of the highest-rated sci-fi stories of the decade by Andy Weir, the writer behind The Martian. It's a story about an astronaut who wakes up alone on a spacecraft with no memory on a mission to save Earth from an extinction-level threat. But soon he realizes he might not be alone in the universe. Now, at surface level, it might just sound like a generic sci-fi film that comes out every year. But check out who's going to be a part of this film. First off, we have the GOAT Ryan Gosling leading this film. We also have the Oscar-nominated actress and Sandra Hüller in the cast. It's being directed by Lord and Miller, the minds behind the iconic Spider-Verse films. And this project even has Greg Fraser helming the camera as the cinematographer, the genius behind the visuals of Dune and the Batman. So yeah, this is gonna be a visual feast for audiences. The scale, the alien worlds, the emotion, this is shaping up to be a sci-fi epic that demands to be shown on the big screen. So these four films are what I anticipate being cinematic feats in terms of both having quality and a little movie magic. But let me quickly run through the other notable movies coming out. We have another Sony Tom Holland film releasing with Spider-Man: A Brand New Day. We have a new sci-fi Spielberg film called Disclosure. There's a new Inarritu film starring Tom Cruise. We have a Star Wars Mandalorian movie coming out, and there's so much more set to release in 2026. With so much excitement and anticipation building up, I think we need to take a step back And look at the bigger picture here, because 2026 isn't just stacked with blockbusters. It could be a turning point for the entire film industry. Right now, we're halfway through 2025, and while there have been some standout moments and some box office juggernauts, it hasn't been a great year for movies in my opinion. There's a noticeable lack of consistent quality, the hype comes in waves, overall box office numbers are down, and honestly, I could only name you 2 releases in the second half of the year that qualify as major, must-see theatrical events. That's not just a fluke, it's a symptom of a bigger issue. The industry is in a crunch. People aren't showing up like they used to, and the reasons aren't a mystery. First, when it comes to studios, there's an over-reliance on existing IP and franchises where original content gets pushed to the sideline. The output feels formulaic and overly saturated, causing fatigue and inconsistent quality across the board. Second, with movie theaters, they're pricing people out. Ticket prices are rising, concession prices even more so, and the in-theater experience hasn't evolved in any meaningful way to justify those costs. There's little incentive for the average person to show up. And third, the audiences themselves are shifting. Attention spans are shorter, streaming is more convenient, and there's a growing cultural fragmentation that's made theatrical moviegoing feel less essential. The connection between studios, theaters, and audiences is fractured, and if the entire industry does not respond, the market will move on without it. The truth is, cinema is still one of the most powerful art forms we have today, but if it doesn't feel that way for the average moviegoer, then something is broken. And here's where 2026 comes in. The movies I mentioned earlier, they're not just exciting, they're opportunities. Massive ones. With the right vision, these films can remind people what movies are capable of. Not just content to scroll past, but events. The kind you play around, talk about, and remember. But those films need to deliver. And the people behind them, the studios, the theaters, the marketers, and even the fans need to realize we're at a make or break moment right now. This isn't about blame or sentiment. It's about designing a future where cinema isn't just surviving, but leading again. I'm hyped for 2026, not just because I love movies, but because I feel like we have a shot at bringing cinema back. So that's all I got for the video. I know it got a little deep there at the end, but yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on where cinema is at right now, because I know there's a lot of talk about, oh, the future of cinema is in doubt, and you know, there's a lot of changes. I know I just talked about the problems without solutions in this, which maybe I'll talk about in another video. But yeah, I just want to express my opinions of where we're at right now. And obviously the slate of 2026. I want to talk about the Odyssey, Chris Nolan. Super excited for all these films that I mentioned today. And there's a lot that we don't know of. So, I mean, I'm telling you, this might be the defining year of the decade. We got Nolan, we have Inarritu. There's so many filmmakers coming out with new films. Yeah, man, I'm super excited. Let me know what your most anticipated films of 2026 is. But yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Again, I'm trying to post more videos consistently, and I may have another video soon for you guys talking about F1. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.